Okay, let us continue from the previous one. Yeah, earlier we have seen prime factoring. What is meant by prime factoring? Like given a number, we will be dividing or we will be representing the number in the form of a product of prime numbers. That is called prime factoring. Okay, in general you consider just one example. 315 is there. 315 we can write it as 3 into 105, but 105 is not prime number, so again we can divide it further as a product of other numbers. So 105 we can divide it as 3 into 35. You can consider in this third example, 315, 3 into 105, then 3 into 35, then 35 also it's not a 35 is also not a prime number. So further we can divide 35 as 5 into 7. Then if you observe 3, 3, 5, 7, all these are prime numbers. So product of prime numbers, like that we have represented the number. The number we have represented it as product of prime numbers. So we can consider it as prime factoring. So 3 power 2 into 5 into 7. Here powers need not be prime numbers, but whatever the bases we have, those should be prime numbers. Okay, why? Because even the power is 3 power 4, all the 4 is not a prime number. We can write it as 3 into 3 into 3 into 3, like that 4 times. So base of the what you call these all numbers should be prime. Okay, next prime factoring we have seen, and how we can find whether it is a prime or not. Several versions of algorithm we have seen. Finally we have come to the conclusion that by using prime numbers, like 2, whatever the factors we have, those all we can avoid. 3, whatever the factors, if 3 is not a factor for a given number, then all the 3 multiples will not be factors for the given number. Similarly 5, after 3 we will check 5. Why? Because we will come to 4 after failing 2 only, so we need not check 4 again. Similarly 6, similarly 8. Why? Because 2 itself is not a factor, so 4, 6, 8 so on will not be factors for the given number. In that observation, we could able to avoid unnecessary checkings, like that 2, 3, 5, 7, 9 sorry 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, like this all the prime numbers we will be checking whether it is a factor or not. Then we will come to know whether how we can factorize, like how we can perform prime factoring. And we have seen how we can check whether the given number is divisible by 2 or not, whether it is divisible by 3 or not, 5 or not, like that for up to 11 or 11, 13, we have seen what are the tricks that we can use in order to find or in order to determine whether the given number is divisible by these prime numbers or not. Okay, until this point we have completed in the previous class. Afterwards we have seen these all methods we have seen, like very much important point here is given two numbers n and m. Given two numbers n and m can be represented in the form of q into n plus r. Every number, given two numbers n and m, okay, one restriction is, in general n is greater than 0 and r is in between 0 to n minus 1. R can be 0 or r can be up to minus 1, any number. So we can write m as q into n plus r. This we have seen in the previous class, and some of the examples also we have seen. If you consider the first one itself, n is 3, m is 16. How we can write is 16 is equal to 5 into 3 plus 1. Here what is the value of r? What's the value of r? Yes, please respond, ma.
One.
What's the value of r? Yeah, value of R is 1. Next, similarly, value of Q is
5.
5.
5. Yeah, Q is 5, R is 1. Like that, every given two numbers N and M, we could able to write in the form of Qn plus R. This is important observation we need to identify. Next, we have introduced the notion called GCD. What is GCD? Greatest common divisor. In general, there can exist multiple common divisors. Like you consider 16 and 32. 16 and 32. A and B values are 16, 32. Now, what are the common factors or common divisor that we have, that we can have? Can we consider two common divisor or not? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
For 16 and 32, 2 is common divisor. Similarly, 4, yes. Similarly, you consider 8, 8 is also common divisor. 16 is also common divisor. So, out of all these, 1 is also common divisor, right? For any two numbers, any two positive numbers, we can say 1 is also a common divisor. So, starting from 1, there can exist multiple common divisors. Out of these all, whichever is the highest one we have, that we will consider as greatest common divisor. We can consider several examples. 540 is there, 315 is there. 540 and 315 GCD we have to find. So what are the factors we have to find? Then we can consider what is the greatest common factor. So 540 can be applied for prime factoring. Okay, prime factoring is nothing but writing in terms of product of prime numbers. So 2 square into 3 cube into 5, all are prime numbers. Product of prime numbers we have written 540. Similarly, 315 earlier also we have seen 3 square into 5 into 7. Like this we have seen. Next, out of these, by seeing this itself, we could able to say that 3 square is present in this and 5 is also present in both the prime factors. So we can consider 3 square into 5 as the GCD. Understand? Although you might be knowing some other methods, okay, not only single method, there exist several methods. One of those we'll see. Just at this point, what you have to understand is 540 can be prime factorized as 2 square into 3 cube into 5. Similarly, 315 can be factorized as 3 square into 5 into 7. Now, out of these, which one is common? 3 square into 5 is common. That can be considered as greatest common divisor. 3 is also common. You can argue like this. 3 is also common. 5 is also common. 3 square is also common. Yes or no? 3 square into 5 is also common. Out of these all, which one is the largest one? 3 square into 5. That will be the GCD. Got it? Yes, this example is trivial, and of course, this argument way of arguing is new to you, maybe like prime factorization we are doing. Then which one is what are the what you call terms in product? Prime factorization in the sense in the form of product of prime numbers we will be writing. In those product, whatever the terms we have, out of those which are common, that we will write aside, then we will multiply it. That will be the GCD. That is one of the methods for getting GCD. Okay, let us see one important what you call algorithm to calculate GCD. Okay, before going to see, just you consider these two numbers 36, 60. This can write it as 2 into 2 into 3. Similarly, 60 can be written as 2 into 3. Now, what are the common factors that we have? 2 we have common. Next, again another 2, again 3. Here these two are different. So, what can be considered? Whatever the common factors we have, those all we will multiply it, so that we will get GCD. What is the GCD? 2 into 2 into 3. That is nothing but 12. So 12 is the GCD of 36 and 60. Okay. In order to find this GCD, are you having? Do you know any methods to solve this this particular one? Yes. To find GCD of a given two numbers, what we will do? Yes. Suppose let us consider 60 and 15, 25. Okay, 60 and 25. Now let us consider the values of A and B as 60 and 25. If you have any doubt, you please let me know, because I don't know whether you are understanding or not. If you don't understand, if you have any doubt, you please raise. Yeah. Now you consider 60, 25. What we can do is, if one particular number, let us say C, can divide both the numbers. If C can divide both the numbers, then let us consider 25 as A. And what's the difference between 60 and 25? 35, isn't it? Screen is not visible. Whatever. For me, it is visible only. I have logged
Yes,
into.
I do. It is visible.
Yes,
It
sir.
is visible. Because I have logged into both the devices. In mobile, I am seeing how you could able to see. Yeah. Here, if we consider so now 25, 30. What's the difference between 60 and 25? It is 35. So if you find the GCD of or GCD or some factor, let us say D. Okay, D is a common factor. Again, you consider the least number as it is. Okay, least number as it is, that is 25. Then what's the difference between these two? 10. Okay, now you consider E as the factor. Okay, you don't worry about CDE. Just to go to the next step, I am using this. Now, what's the least number? 10. Next, what's the difference? 15.
15.
Yeah. Next, let us consider F is some factor for these two. And what's the least number? 10. And what's the difference?
5.
5. Next, let us say G is another factor. Now, what's the least number? 5. Next, what's the
Difference?
5. 5. When you get these two as same, okay, when you get these two as same, whatever the factor that we have, okay, whenever these two are same, this you can consider as a GCD directly. I am repeating once again, try to understand. 60 and 25, A and B values are 60 and 25. Then in the first step, what we will do is minimum we will take and the difference. Now A and B values, this can be A, this can be B. Okay. Now you consider whatever the minimum one that we will keep as it is, and the difference we will. Okay. Can you able to see, ma? Yes. Can you able to see? Yeah. Okay. Now 25 is the minimum one, and the difference is 10. Next, again, what is the minimum one? 10, and the difference is 15. Next, what's the minimum? 10, and the difference is 5. Next, what's the minimum? 5, and the difference is also 5. Whenever A and B values here, if you observe A value from 60, we keep on updating, and B value from 25, we are keep on updating. Then finally, if we get A and B values as same, whatever the value A and B values are same, that value we can consider as GCD. Is it clear? Yes. Shall I take another example and tell? Yeah, 315 and 540. Let us try to do. Yeah, 315, 540. So in general, A we will be taking as a larger number. Okay. Yeah, 540. So what's the minimum one? 315. Then what's the next difference is 225, isn't it? Yes or no? 225. Next, what's the minimum? 225. Then what's the difference? Difference is 75 plus 50. So 90. Next, what's the minimum? 90. Please respond, ma. 90. Then what's the difference?
135.
135. Okay, what's the minimum?
90.
90. And what's the difference?
45.
45. Yeah. What's the minimum?
45.
45. And the difference?
45.
45. So when we have to stop? Whenever we get A and B values as same. Okay, A and B values as same, then we can stop and we can consider this as the this as the GCD. Clear? Yes. Okay. Now you consider this as the method. Let us say we have to find GCD of 1024 and 2. What is the GCD? 1024 and 2. What's the GCD?
2.
2. Definitely 2. But if you follow this procedure, earlier procedure which we have seen, like minimum is 2 and the difference is 1022. Next minimum is 2 and the difference is 1020. Next minimum is 2, difference is 1018. Like that, those many times, how many times? Like 512 times we need to subtract, and 512 steps we will be performing in order to reach 2 is equal to 2. In order to get 2 is equal to 2, we need to perform 512 steps, isn't it? Yes or no? Did you identify the difficulty in this in this method? Although it is giving the answers, correct answer it will give definitely. But the problem here is if the difference between two numbers is very large, then it is sometimes it may lead to more number of steps. That is the difficulty. Yes or no? Yes. Did you identify? Yeah. Now let us consider another method. I think you are aware of this one. Just you consider 420 we have, and 20, 420 and 20. Now what we will do? 420 we will divide with 20. Yes or no? We will divide with 20. Let us consider instead of 420, let us consider 25. Yeah, 25. Then we will be dividing like 25 into how many times? 16. Then we will be getting 400. Then the remainder is 20. Then whatever the divisor we have, that we will be keeping as please tell me. 20, then only one time, then 20, then what's the remainder? 5. Then this 20 will consider as a dividend. Then 5, 4 times it will go. So we'll be getting remainder as 0. Whenever the remainder is 0, then we can consider the corresponding divisor as the greatest common divisor. Yes or no? Yes, this is a usual procedure, right? That you will do. Yes or no? Please respond now. If you don't understand it, yeah. Now let us try to generalize it. Like we are having A and B here. Now next time this 25, whatever the B value we have, that is becoming A. Yes, sir. Whatever the b value we have, that is becoming a. Next, whatever the what you call, sorry, that is becoming a here. What is b here? What is remainder? So b is nothing but, first of all, we have to get b as remainder after performing division. After performing division with b, so a mod b is b. Then we have to change. Sorry, this is a. Sorry, yeah, this is a or b. 20 is nothing but yeah, b, correct. Yeah, b is equal to a mod b. Then what is a? What should be a value? Whatever the b we have earlier. So before changing this b value as a mod b, we have to change actually here in this expression we are having both a and b, so we need to use in programmatic perspective we need to use a third variable. Otherwise what can be done is like I'll write one simple formula like GCD of, mathematically we can write it like this: GCD of a comma b is nothing but now you say GCD of a comma b is nothing but, from this observation you can say like 20 and 25. What is the GCD? You tell. 20 and 25. What is the GCD?
5.
5. 5 and 20. What is the GCD?
5.
5. 25, 4, 20. What is the GCD?
5, sir.
5. So whatever the GCD we wanted to calculate for numbers of 420 and 25 is equivalent to GCD of 20 and 25. Next, it is equivalent to GCD of 5 and 20. So this only we can write it in the form of GCD of a comma b is nothing but, if we calculate GCD of what should be the a value? B and the remainder. Yes or no? GCD of a mod b. Can we write it like this or not? GCD of a comma b is equal to GCD of b comma a mod b. Again, of course, next time if you substitute in the same formula, like a value is b, b value is a mod b, then it will become like a mod b here. Then we can continue in the same fashion, right? GCD of 420 comma 25 is nothing but GCD of 25 comma 20. This that is equivalent to GCD of 20 comma 5. Okay, like this we can write. So this is the generalized formula. This you can note down. Yes, are you having any doubt till now? If you understand this properly, then let us no. Okay, let us consider the same example. 420 25. What is the GCD? We have obtained the GCD as 5. Next, instead of 420 and 25, I am giving another numbers 25 and 20. What is the GCD? 5. 25 and 20, GCD is 5. Next, I will give another two numbers 20 and 5. What is the GCD? 5. So 420 25 GCD is 5. 25 20 GCD is 5. 25 GCD is 5. So that only we are representing in the form of formula like GCD of a comma b, that is GCD of 420 comma 25 is equivalent to what is this 25? Whatever the b we have, just to substitute here 420 and 25 here, then you will understand. Yeah, here we are having 420 and 25. It is equivalent to what we are saying, GCD of GCD of 25 comma 20. What is 25? Whatever the b we have, that has to be a. Next, what is this 20? How we have got 20? Sorry, this is not 20. I think 20 or yeah, 20 is nothing but the remainder. Yeah, remainder. So 420 mod 25 will be getting 20 as the remainder. So GCD of 25 comma 20. Next again this we will be changing as B value as A. So what is B value? Let us consider this 25 and 20 as new A and B values. So 25 and 20. What is B value here? 20. That will become here GCD of 20. Then A mod B is nothing but 25 mod 20. We will be getting 5 as the remainder. So B value is 20 already. Next A mod B is nothing but 25 mod 20, which is nothing but 5. Now 20 come GCD of 20 comma 5. Now if you try to calculate, substitute same thing 20 and 5. What is A value? What is A value? 20. What is B value? 5. Now GCD of B is 5. So GCD of 5 comma what is the mod? 20 mod 5. 20 mod 5 is yes 20 mod 5 0. Yes or no? 20 mod 5 is 0. Then we can stop here. What is the B value? B value is 5. In the last iteration, GCD of while calculating GCD of 20 comma 5, it is becoming like a GCD of 5 comma 0. Whenever this particular second one becomes 0, then we can stop there itself and we can say this first one is the GCD. Understand? Like this, we can use this particular formula. GCD of A comma B is nothing but GCD of B comma A mod B. Yes. Any doubts? Did you understand, ma? Zion? Okay. Yeah. Manav? Manav, shall I repeat once? Or where you? Okay. Okay. Next, let us try to formulate this in the form of algorithm. Have you noted this? GCD of A comma B is GCD of B comma A mod B. Okay, fine. Let us see this one. Like as we have discussed, if we subtract a smaller number from larger number, we could able to get the GCD definitely. How up to what extent we will be repeating is until we get both the values A and B values as same. We will be keep on subtracting. We will be taking the minimum, then the difference, minimum and the difference, minimum and the difference. Like that we will be continuing. But if you take the difference between two numbers as if you observe difference between two numbers is very much large, then it may go to more number. It may take more number of steps. So instead of that, what can be done? Instead of subtraction, we could perform division operation. With what number we will perform division is highest number or larger number we will be dividing with smaller number, and we will continue the same process until we get the remainder as 0. If we get the remainder as 0, then whatever the divisor we have, that will be the GCD. This is called Euclidean algorithm. The second step, what you call method, which we have seen. GCD of A comma B is equal to GCD of B comma A mod B. So this is a basic Euclidean algorithm. Whenever that B is equal to 0, then we can say A is nothing but the GCD. Okay, I'll show you in this particular one. Yeah, I think you can understand this, but just highlighted one, if you understand, that is fine. GCD of A comma B we have to calculate. This you know already. GCD of A comma B is nothing but GCD of B mod A comma A or B. Here GCD of what we have calculated, B actually, right? GCD of B mod A comma B. Which one is minimum, that we have to consider. So now whenever that a is 0, then we can say the other number is the GCD. So this is the function to what you call depict the GCD, Euclidean algorithm to calculate Euclid's algorithm to calculate GCD, and there is a extended version of it as well. For that we need some observation. You consider these examples, then you can understand. If you have this is if you understand this, then only we could able to proceed further. Try to concentrate here. Ax plus by is equal to GCD of a comma b. That means let us consider two numbers are there, a and b, and whatever the GCD we have, that we can obtain by multiplying both the numbers a and b by two numbers. Like a we will multiply with one value called x, b we will multiply with one value called one integer called y. Okay, with two values we will multiply a and b respectively, then we could able to get the GCD. This is the observation. This you can understand from this example. Let us consider a value as 30, b value as 20, and this GCD is 10. Okay, now what is our main statement? Ax plus by is equal to GCD. What is GCD here? 10. By using a and b values, we could able to obtain GCD. So by using a and b values, how we can obtain? By multiplying with some integers. Those integers can be negative as well, that you keep in mind. Those integers can be negative as well. So 30 we will multiply with 1 and 20 will multiply with minus 1. Then we will obtain what? GCD. So can we able to write every number? Okay, for every two numbers we can say a and b. Can we write ax plus by is equal to the GCD of both the numbers? Yes. Why? Because we can definitely GCD is the factor of GCD is the factor of both the numbers a and b. So if you multiply that those two numbers with some number, okay, that can be negative as well, we could able to obtain GCD finally. So another example you can consider. A value is 35, b value is 50. Now the GCD is 5. These three things you know how we can obtain third number by using first two numbers. Until this point clear to you, definitely. Now what is the objective here is ax plus by is equal to GCD. Once we obtain GCD, a b values also we know, then immediately after that if you substitute ax plus by is equal to GCD in that form, both the values. So 35x plus what is b value? 15. So 15y, 35x plus 15y is equal to 5. Now you can try with x value and y value with several possibilities. Then we can obtain. Okay, here the point is we no need to worry about x and y values. Just you have to understand for every two numbers, if you know the GCD, then this condition holds. Ax plus by is equal to GCD. Now the question is, for every two numbers, can we have GCD or not? For any two numbers, if I say for any positive numbers, can we have GCD or not? Yes or no? If I give any two numbers, let us consider two numbers as positive for as of now. Yes or no? Did you understand the question? Suppose if I give some 10,000 and 449, can you give GCD 449 and 10,000? Yes, definitely one will be the GCD in worst case. Yes or no? For any number, one is the factor. So one can be considered as GCD for any GCD, even though both the numbers as prime numbers. Like you consider 35 and 37 and 39. Both are prime numbers, 37 and 39. Then what will be the GCD? common factors itself 1 and itself. So 1 and 37 are the factors for first number, 1 and 39 are the factors for second number. So 1 will be the common, that is the only one, so GCD will be 1. So in worst case we will be having 1 as the GCD. In other cases we can have some other larger numbers as the GCD. Now the point is, for any two numbers we can write in the form of ax plus by is equal, for any two numbers a and b we can write it as ax plus by is equal to GCD, and here x and y values can be positive or negative. Now based upon this we can write it like this. I will tell you here. Yeah, based upon the fact that ax plus by is equal to GCD, this we know, right? Yes or no? Whatever the highlighted one we have. Yeah, are you having any doubt in this highlighted one? Ax plus by is equal to GCD. This is just observation. We can write it by putting some values for x and y. Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now, this A, based upon the previous results, like this A can be changed as B mod A, and this B can be changed as A. By using these two, we could obtain this one, right? Why? Because GCD of A comma B is nothing but GCD of B mod A comma A, that we have seen earlier. GCD of A comma B is nothing but GCD of B mod A comma A. So by using that, what can be placed in the place of A, B mod A? So here instead of A we have put B mod A. Similarly instead of B we have put A. Now is this clear, this particular equation? If you understand this, that is fine. Yes. Yeah. Next, now the question is how we can calculate B mod A. In general, suppose 13 mod 5. How you will calculate 13 mod 5? Of course, we will divide. Okay, how many times it will go? 2 times. Then we will be getting the remainder. Okay, we will subtract from the original number, right? So what is the original number? B mod A. What is the original number? B. So from B we have to subtract something. What is that something? Is nothing but sometimes of A. A into sometimes. What is that sometimes? That is nothing but like 13 mod 5 means 5 into 2. Why we are multiplying with only 2? Why we are not multiplying with 1? 1 is also fine, right? But how many times it will go? Maximum, that we have to consider. So B mod B slash A we have to consider, and in this one 13 by 5, in this we will be considering 2 times, in the sense that is the floor. Like you consider 13 by 5 we will be getting 2.6, right? In general 13 by 5 means 2.6. Yes or no? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, 13 by 5 is 2.6. Out of that, floor we will be considering. Floor in the sense 2. I think I told you or not, I didn't remember. Just I will give one clue here. Clue to remember. In our house, you know, flooring will be there. Marble floor or granite or normal flooring. Okay, and there will be ceiling as well. Yes or no? Now you consider 2.3 is there. 2.3. Let us consider 2.3 is in your hand. Now floor in the sense it will be down. Seal in the sense it will be up. 2.3 is in your hand. That is somewhere in the middle from floor to seal. So if you need to go to floor 2.3, how what is the floor value? 2.3 floor value is 2. If you need to consider seal, 2.3 should be considered as 3. Understand the trick here? 2.3 is in your hand, floor is there. What is the floor of 2.3? 2. What is the seal of 2.3? It is 3. Got it? Now you consider floor of 2.7. What's the value? Floor of 2.7.
2,
Huh?
2,
2. Yeah. Seal of 2.7.
3,
3. Floor of 2.9.
2,
2. This clarity you should have. With this example, I think you remember forever. 2.99. Floor of 2.999. What is the floor of 2.999?
2,
2 only. Yeah. Last question regarding this floor and seal. Floor of minus 2.7. Floor of minus 2.7.
-3.
Minus 3. That's it. That scale you consider, there is a scale like a normal scale you will be using for measurement, right? Same scale you put it and consider how it will be. Like roof will be -2. For minus 2.7, roof in the sense ceiling will be -2, whereas floor will be -3. Like that you can consider. Yeah. Now 13 mod 5, 13 by 5, floor in the sense 2.3 floor. What we will get? 2. So 2 into 5, that we have to subtract. 2 into 5, 10 we will subtract from 13, then we will obtain remainder. So by using this one, let us substitute here. B mod A is nothing but B minus floor of B by A into A. Of course x1 is there from this, x into x1 plus a into a1 as it is equal to GCD. Next, from the above equation, this can be written as b into x1. Okay, b into x1. Then here you can take a as the common. A into y1 from this y1 minus floor of b by a into x1. This entire thing becoming a factor. Okay, a multiple. Next, this is becoming b multiple. Okay, this is equivalent to GCD. Now if you try to compare these two, like ax plus by is equal to GCD, this we know already, and that has become like this: ax plus by is equal to GCD. Understand? Ax plus by is equal to GCD, and here also ax plus by is equal to GCD. Now if you try to equate these two, what is x value? What is x value? What is the factor of a? Not factor, multiple of a in this equation, x. What is the multiple of a in this equation? Y1 minus floor of b by a into x1. So can we equate these two? X and this one, highlighted one. Yes. Yeah. Now x value becomes y1 minus floor of b by a into x1, whereas y value becomes x1. Okay. So by using this, we could able to obtain x and y values. What is the value of x? What's the value of y? How we have obtained these two? I think now you are clear. This is the observation. From this, ax plus by is equal to GCD, and from the basic Euclid algorithm, okay, we could able to say that GCD of a comma b is equivalent to GCD of b mod a comma a. By using that particular fact, we can substitute in the place of a b mod a, in the place of b a. And how we can calculate b mod a is subtracting, yeah, subtracting this particular floor of b by a into a from the original number b. Then we can obtain the remainder. Okay, this we will substitute in the original equation. Then we can obtain, we can change this form as ax plus by is equal to GCD. Then we can obtain x and b values. Okay, this process we will repeat in order to get the GCD. Okay, this is about GCD. In the next class, we'll see